Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what's not as sexy as most people seem to think it is? Playing hard to get. I will give up. Nothing says I have no idea how to set healthy boundaries like sending rejection signals and expecting them to be ignored. That's the crazy part about it. I'm all for respecting boundaries. Nothing weirder than you didn't even try harder. That's harassment. Sex on the beach. Not the drink. I don't have the experience, but I always thought that as well, like the sand must get everywhere, and don't get me started on little insects, clamshells, stones, etc. Sounds horrible all around. Some people pay a lot of money to get others to put little insects in those places. Food play. That chocolate sauce may seem like a good idea, but really it's just messy. Years ago I remember my flatmate running downstairs half naked searching for chocolate sauce, honey and syrup, and then running back upstairs where his GF was waiting. All I could think of is the mess they would make, to the point where you would probably have to throw out the sheets and the mattress, unless you'd put down a tarpaulin. My sister gave my parents some sexy chocolate paste for bodies. She was 16 and did it as a joke. My father said sure, why not? My mother told us the next day, during dinner, he had painted her boobs completely with chocolate, did one lick and said, "No, this is dark chocolate, I don't like it." Suddenly dad is a fucking chocolate connoisseur after the titties are painted. Your sister played chicken with your parents and they did not blink. I'm sorry you got caught in the crossfire. So how many years have you been in therapy? Ads on porn websites. Hey. Ever heard of jerkmates? Watch thousands of girls do crazy things. Depends. There's ads that are just more porn. Then there's ads that just show the ugliest people on the planet for some reason, or some terribly drawn shit. Then there's the get a 14-inch cock today ads. Ugly girls want love too, bitch. I'm not watching porn to see people in my league. Try not to come. You won't last 20 seconds playing this game. Edible underwear. Just number. Edit. I had no idea this comment would get any reaction at all, but here we are. For the record, I've never tried them, but an old roommate had gotten them for his then GF, thinking it would spice up their love life. He said it was an epic failure, and they were an awful, sticky, disgusting mess. 0/10. Thanks for the awards and upvotes. All underwear is edible if you try hard enough. My dog is nodding too. My roommate once bought edible underwear for his girlfriend. It was like a fruit roll-up with strings. She never wore it. She got high and ate it one day. He was so disappointed. A guy I knew gifted candy panties to his girlfriend. She never wore them. So he gifted them to my then girlfriend and I for our couple anniversary. She never wore them either, go figure why. Covering each other in whipped cream during sexy time and licking it off. Turns out whipped cream is a lot greasier than previously thought. Edit. Appreciate the awards and that people have so much to contribute. Also, is sexy time not a phrase people use anymore? I'm almost positive I didn't make it up myself. I'm pretty lactose intolerant, so I feel this on multiple levels. Yeah, it melts pretty quick when placed on a warm body, much better on cold bodies. Hole up. Baby talking. There's a point of diminishing returns that rapidly approaches, like this. Boop doopy doopy doop sex. I'm proud of the fact I knew exactly what this would be. To all my BROs out there that are still too stupid to have figured this out yet, that girl you're flirting with online doesn't want to see your penis. For God's sake, stop the dick pics. Yay, dick pics are just for the homies. Yeah, that's exactly. Wait, what? The rule is, unless someone asks you, hey, can I see your penis? Don't show them your penis. And even then I'm pretty hesitant. Actually, I request a redirect. If you want to send a dick pic to a girl, stop, think about whether she really wants to see it, and send it to me instead. DM_me_your_dick Tarkeen M for the team. Shower sex, hot tub sex, pool sex, etc. Let's just say that water isn't a great lubricant. You're generally right, but drunk shower/pool sex is exactly what you hoped it would be. A trip to the emergency room when you slip and fall in the shower. Love me some pool sex, but not a fan of shower sex. I slide all over the fucking place, and I know a slip means breaking through our glass shower door and a trip to the at best, or slipping and cracking one of our heads open. Pool sex though. You can do some crazy fun positions for a long time, and if you slip you just slowly go underwater lol. I use a silicone lube for shower sex. Has made it very fun. The water-based stuff just doesn't stay long. Oral sex in a nice shower is fantastic, except when you get the angle incorrect and suddenly water rushes down their body into your mouth and you're being waterboarded during what was supposed to be a sexy time. Unless that's your thing. In which case you get to be waterboarded during sexy time. Would. Inflated butts. They just look swollen. I often wonder how some of these folks are able to sit down, or even lay on their backs with these massive asses. I don't have an inflated ass. Just a naturally large ass, which probably is only better in the way that there's no infection or necrosis going to happen. Laying down on my back is a fucking joke. The points of contact with the floor are pretty much my heels, my butt, my shoulders, and head. Nothing else touches the floor unless I curve my spine in a weird and very uncomfortable way. You can imagine my moment of oh shit, my back is supposed to touch the floor. Realize RTO when I went through yoga and they wanted us to lay flat on our backs. It was just not happening for me. The Kardashians. This right here is the correct answer. Stalking. And when I say this, I mean how in movies the love interest of a main character kind of pursues them in a really weird way, but it's portrayed as so sweet. Looking at you, Troy Bolton. Don't show up on my balcony in the middle of the night with no warning, you'll get maced and arrested. The Notebook. He invades a fun date and threatens to kill himself if she doesn't go out with him. That's some dark shit in RL that everyone swoons over in the movie. Lots of romance movies and especially rom-coms are basically like porn for relationships. The women are always hot, and, most of the time, the men are too, and it's about fulfilling a fantasy, which is all well and good, but they are not and should never be held up as what is real or ought to be real about sex/relationships. It is kind of crazy to think that most romantic comedies would be stalker horror films if you just took out the last 15 minutes where everything gets resolved and swapped out the soundtrack. Sex. Watch your sex tape sober, notice all the grunting and hunched over Gollum shit you're both doing. Sometimes I become very aware of my Gollum stance in the moment, and it's usually right before a climax, so then I gotta build it back up. Or just lean into the skid and yell filthy hobbitses. When you nut. I just snorted. This is so true Lmao. Idk. Made a drunk sex tape. Watched it sober. Had sex again while watching it. It was hot. Also, fucking in front of a mirror. Sex in front of a mirror is one of the hottest things IMO. Duck face. Duck sex is pretty intense though. Mallards have a corkscrew penis that is huge compared to their body size. You know they say ducks have a corkscrew penis, but the last time I tried to open a bottle of wine with one at a dinner party, everyone said they were recovering alcoholics. One of my exes was, hands down, one of the most beautiful girls I knew. She turned heads and was always being hit on. It was annoying, but it was basically a lifestyle for her. One of her features was that she had very thin lips. It really suited her, and I thought she was all the more pretty because of it. Especially when she smiled. And yet, it agonized her. She was always talking about permanent surgery, about having no lips, about how I was always lying to her when I told her I liked it, that all guys want girls with big lips. It was so rooted into her that I couldn't get her out of it. She got addicted to lip fillers, which didn't really do much, and routinely topping up her face. I have nothing against cosmetic touch-ups. If that's what you want, more power to you. But there's a psychological aspect to it that needs to be resolved beforehand. And in her case, she was deficient as a person without it. It wreaked havoc on her confidence and self-worth. This, despite the fact that guys were constantly hitting on her, that girls were always telling her she was the pretty one, that the whole world was shouting it at her. I still think about it sometimes. How rotten all this normalized beauty bullshit is. And how even the people who have it all will find something in themselves that they don't. That's so sad. Especially because beauty standards change constantly. Thin lips used to be in like 15 or so years ago, so they'll probably be in style again in another 15 odd years. Or more. Or less. My numbers are likely off. But point is, it's horrible when a beauty standard is this unfixable without surgery body feature and then only a short time later it's opposite unfixable without surgery body feature. Like that's a huge thing with nose jobs these days. Fun fact, when I was a preteen, I thought my thickish eyebrows were horrible and gross. I wanted to pluck them thin. My mom forbid me, and for good reason. If you pluck, they'll grow in more sparse, and thick brows will be coming back soon. So I never did anything to my brows. Now thick brows are in, to the point where I actually need to fill mine. That change took place over the course of like a decade.